Welcome to Cats and Rats Podcast, covering your Florida Panthers.
Hey everyone, welcome to the newest episode of the Cats and Rats Podcast. Is this episode 32, I believe, Cody?
Yeah, I can't think of anyone that wore 32.
I didn't look it up before this episode. Chris Versteeg, 32?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are good on the jersey numbers. I'm joined by my
32, I can't think of anyone.
Cody Stevens and Nick Levine. I'm Kirby Lupul. You can't think of anyone yet. We'll have to get some comments there. But we're not talking about the Panthers today, gentlemen. We're going to get right into it right away here. Four nations lineups. We're going to start with Team Canada. Then we're going to go into Team USA. You're going to see Team Kirby, Team Nick, and Team Cody lineups. We'll kind of explain our thought process a little bit on each one, right?
All right.
So I'm up first.
First up, we're going to start with the country of Canada, aka north of the border, aka the country that can't develop goaltending. So this is Kirby's Canadian lineup to start here.
Okay. So for the audience here that's not watching us on the YouTube channel, I'm going to go through my lineup for you and then kind of talk it through with you. We try to put it in lines and in pairings, so listen carefully here. So first line, I've got a lot to say on this. Zach Hyman at left wing, centered by Connor McDavid, who just went down with the injury, but he should be fine in a few weeks here, and Mitch Marner. Second line, I've got Braden Point, McKinnon centering that second line with Reinhart on the second line. I kind of moved him up. I had him a little lower down. He's off to his heater start right now, so I've got him up on that second line. Third line, guys, this lineup has been named by the Canadian media and pundits. I had this down 2 weeks before they did. Third line of Brad Marchand, Sidney Crosby, and Mark Stone. I think you can almost take that line to the bank. That's going to be the third line checking line for Team Canada come February. And the fourth line, we can talk about this a bit. Verhaeghe, Bedard, and Stamkos. I'll just get into the forwards here, guys. Quickly. I don't personally love Hyman on that first line wing, but I think that's probably what's going to happen because in these short tournaments, you're going to see these coaches pair guys up that have played together in pairings. So you're going to see like a Hyman McDavid together. I'm going to get into the Canada defense here in a second. That's just the easiest way to go about things when you start this tournament. I think Marner could fall down the lineup, but I'm seeing a lot of lineups that have him on the first line. I originally had Reinhart lower down the lineup, but he's on a heater right now. He's one of the best players in the NHL right now, coming up to these Finnish games as of this recording. So he's there with McKinnon and Point. Point's a natural centerman, but I think they're going to put him on the wing there. Marchand, Crosby, Stone, self-explanatory. We can get into that. You guys might have that same lineup. Verhaeghe, Bedard, and Stamkos. I'm seeing a lot of people leave Stamkos off the lineup, and Bedard is that extra forward. I think he cracks the top four lines. I could be wrong on that. Stamkos, I just couldn't leave him off. I can see him moving up to the second line if they drop Reinhart down on more of like a fourth line checking line, or if Point kind of loses, or say Hyman, for example, they need to bump Point up or something like that. Hyman can drop down to like a fourth line. So Stamkos, I think you need to have him on the roster. He can almost play on any line at this point, and he's so dynamic on the power play. He's going to have guys setting him up left, right, and center. A lot of people are leaving him off of that lineup. Any comments there, guys, on my forwards before I move on to the D goalies?
Then I just realized that I forgot Marchand was first four in. I just realized that.
Yeah, I told you guys. I told Nick that. Don't forget. So again, Marchand.
He's an extra.
I find it interesting.
Yep.
Just I agree with you on Hyman. This is not somebody that necessarily you might personally put in. Maybe I wouldn't personally put in. We'll find that out in a little bit, but I just think it's probably more realistic that that's what they're going to do. And obviously, you got to remember this tournament's in February, right? So this is a couple months down the line, right? So we're doing this a little bit early, but on the forward front, realistically, the same thing. I do like your bubble players, Lafreniere, and Scheifele, especially the start of the year Scheifele's got off to. So
yeah, I kind of interchanged him with Barzell and a couple other names. I know Tom Wilson's getting a lot of hype, but I think Scheifele and Lafreniere.
There's also some different philosophies. Some might want to go younger. Some might want to go more veteran guy. A little bit more.
And I went more centers by throwing Scheifele there and Bedard that both can play center.
Mm-hmm. But there's different options there, right? I didn't even think of Scheifele, so that's a good pick by you.
Yeah, I had Tavares in there, Tom Wilson in there.
I had Tavares as another guy I had in there that I ended up picking for the fourth center.
Yeah, I think they might be starting to phase them out, but we'll see on that. Defense, and Cody, jump in at any point here. I have Makar, Taves, which a lot of us will probably have. Dobson, Theodore, I'm high on Theodore. He's had a great start to the season. I'm very high on Dobson as well. And then Morrissey, Bouchard, I can see one of those guys being a 7. I think all 6 are going to make the lineup. Then you have Doughty and Hamilton battling for that 7-8. And I said in the summer, I'm not a big Dougie guy. I said he's going to be battling for that 7th spot. And I think there's a lot of guys pushing up. I know Devon Taves has been injured, but I think they really want him with Cale Makar on that top pairing. So anything there, guys, on the D that I missed on the forwards?
I think with Dougie Hamilton, obviously Drew Doughty, the injury.
I think you're missing one guy that had a really good start to the year.
I think maybe Nick has him in a bit.
But that'll tip my cap to my lineup. So,
the thing with Dougie Hamilton is, I'm not a huge fan of him. Kirby, I know you're not a huge fan of him, but you take a look at who you have in that lineup. You have Makar, you have Dobson, you have Morrissey, you have Bouchard, you have a bunch of guys that can quarterback a power play and score from the point. I really don't see a need for Dougie Hamilton.
There's so much offensive guys.
And I would be looking, because here's the thing, you have such a stacked team. It's like, this isn't, it's not your normal bottom pair, normal fourth line. You could be looking for different architects of players for certain positions, right?
Defensive, probably. I'm laughing.
Maybe it's like, listen, Dougie Hamilton, may he be the 7th best defenseman for Canada? Sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean he can make it because, different.
And I didn't put my boy Brandon Money Monster on their natural hat trick last night of this record. Didn't put him on the bubble. I'm being very fair with
when I trade him, he does it.
What is he, a point per game guy right now? Come on now.
Yeah, you were misusing him like Bruno did. And here's the thing. We're all gonna have all the same 3 goalies. Binnington, Hill, Skinner. Because guess what? Canada can't develop goaltending.
Binnington, Hill, Skinner, I have, but I had Montembeault up there, guys, 2 weeks ago when I was first creating this list, but he's fallen off. I can't even put him 3rd string at this point.
I can't even put in Jari for Lex. But
yeah, Jari. Lex is owning Jari, but that's our goalie.
I don't have. Well, you'll see my lineup here.
All right. Next up, Nick with his Canadian lineup.
So me and Kirby had the same first line. We got Hyman, McDavid, Marner. Again, not a huge fan of Hyman. Obviously, hasn't gotten off to a great start this season. But I just think realistically, again, what I think they're going to be looking for in the lineup, I think Hyman with McDavid makes a lot of sense. I don't want to talk about it too much. The second line is what I'm hoping to see. I am hoping, so this is more of a wish maybe than realistic. I think it is realistic, but I really want to see Crosby and McKinnon together.
They're going to do that at some point.
But here's the thing. You put Connor Bedard with them.
The first overall line, huh?
I mean, oh my gosh. I'm hoping that they do that.
They might do that in a gold medal.
Well, who knows? But I think that would would be unbelievable. And I don't know if that's necessarily how it's going to start. And again, these lineups. I don't
think it's going to start that way. I'm telling you.
But these lineups, who knows, right? Like
there could be injuries.
It could be injuries. It could be anything. But this is more of a wish than probably realistic. But I'm holding out hope that we get to see that. Point, Marchand, Reinhardt. I was going back and forth between Reinhardt and Stone here for a time, even Marchand. But I think I just settled on Reinhardt because again, like both him and Stone are off to great starts to this season. But I think, you see what Reinhardt was able to do this season and then last season. I just think he deserves to be a little bit higher up in the lineup. And again, a little bit more offensively talented than Mark Stone. So I think having him higher up in the lineup makes sense.
One big omission to your lineup here, though.
Yeah. And then who were you going to say?
Verhaeghe.
I had him originally. I was going back and forth with a couple of different guys.
He's a bubble guy, though.
I was going into the head. I'm like, okay, who are they looking for? Well, John Cooper's the coach of Canada, I believe, right? Obviously, Stamkos. I think he's going to be there. I think, again, I was in between John Tavares, and then I thought about Ryan O'Reilly, and I ended up going with him. Kind of the same thing you said, Kirby. I know there's been talk about Tavares' play, and, I think there was some talk about his speed.
Ryan O'Reilly and Barzal, interesting. They're kind of veteran speedmen.
Exactly. So I think that could be an interesting look. Obviously, Stamkos there I have as the 13th forward. When other bubble players like Verhaeghe and some other guys, I had considered Nick Suzuki here.
Really? I didn't even think of him.
I did. But then as I started looking at it more, I just decided to go with O'Reilly. For me, it was really O'Reilly and Tavares. I think that veteran fourth line center is something I feel Canada is going to go with.
I think Craig Button or Mike Johnson have Suzuki in their top 12, but
of course they do. But
Again, we're all picking from a pool of like 25, 30 players. So you're going to have mostly the same people. Defense, you got Taze McCarr, obviously, Theodore Bouchard, and then you got Morrissey Dobson.
So you have Bouchard just up the lineup and Dobson down, same as me.
Correct. I have Dobson with Morrissey. I had Mackenzie Weegar as the seventh defenseman. I know people are going to be like, some people maybe, what the hell?
He's been better.
He's been a lot better in Calgary.
Does Weegar bump out a Morrissey or Bouchard?
But I don't think so. But again, kind of the same thing I was talking about with Dougie Hamilton with you. I don't really see a need for him on a team with the defense
you don't even have Dougie in there.
Yeah, I don't see a need.
I should have left
that.
him out.
I don't really see a major need for Dougie Hamilton. There were some other defensemen, obviously. Drew
Cody said your main omission was Verhaeghe. I would say for you, Doughty, even though he's injured, as a bubble guy.
Doughty, I had. That's the bubble guy, but I again, the injury, and it was a pretty gruesome injury. I
think he's still 7 or 8 though because of it.
Potential, but again, I think Mackenzie Weegar, again, he's played very well over the last year and a half. I truly do believe, and again, if you take a look at this list a year ago, Aaron Ekblad was also in this conversation. He's probably not going to be there in this conversation.
I think he will be in the conversation.
He'll be in the conversation, but I don't think he's going to end up doing it. But I ended up picking Mackenzie Weegar. But
Verhaeghe hasn't been off to a great start, and I think that's
no.
But he's clutch.
But I think that this is not a crazy thing though. I could see them maybe for a game, maybe switch out Dobson for Weegar for penalty kill reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that could be an option. And then Nick.
Goalies, I had Bennington, Hill, and then Montembeault.
So that was what I had about 2 weeks ago, Nick. But I took Montembeault.
I don't believe in Stuart Skinner at all.
So you don't think they'll have him as a third string goalie because he's been to a Stanley Cup final?
No, I mean they might. I think Montembeault's the better goalie. I'll stand by that. You just take a look at talent, Again, especially behind this defense, he's the third goalie. I think behind this
Montreal's seeing about 7-8 goals go in the back of their net here.
Well, again, you got Brandon Money Montour playing against him, right, Kirby? So it's kind of. I guess that's unfair.
Where's the bell for spaces? I need the bell.
But next up, I got my lineup, and my lineup's quite a bit different. I think. All right, here we go. I forgot Marchand was first 4 in, we need
to make an edit on that on the YouTube video.
Yeah,
on the comments.
Right. So, I'll throw him in where Barzal is. So, line 1, I have the IQ line: McDavid, Reinhart, Stone.
Interesting.
And then second line, I have McKinnon, Scheifele, and Point. I can't dismiss what Scheifele has done to start the year. Third line, I have Sidney Crosby with Connor Bedard and Carter Verhaeghe. I think if you give Crosby 2 speedy wing guys and a guy in Verhaeghe that can find soft spots anywhere, I think he could set up Verhaeghe for quite a bit.
See, my fourth line originally was Verhaeghe, Bedard.
I had a couple. I never had Scheifele. I did have Robert Thomas.
And my fourth line is Robert Thomas, Wyatt Johnston, and scratch out Matt Barzal for Brad Marchand.
So you're giving love to Wyatt Johnston when that's mine and Nick's guy. And you got him in your line.
Well, first of all, I'm not going to even get into this right now, but no, Scheifele, I wish I would have picked. I didn't even think of that.
He's having too good of a start.
I thought of it really late, Cody. I added him about 2-3 days ago.
And
because there's been different players being rumored
in the lineup,
for this tournament throughout the week, right? A couple different defensemen throughout the month. I saw earlier this week, Travis Sanheim was mentioned, a name mentioned for Canada. So I almost put him in there because
So Cody, this is interesting with his extra names here. Now Marchand's already going to make the team. So who would you bump out for Marchand? And then
Barzal.
Yeah.
Over Johnston, you think they would do? Is that what you would do, or you think what they would do?
I would. That's what I would do.
Okay.
But
Cody, so talk about these 2 extra guys, especially the one that you have there, because I would love to have him as an extra. I just don't see it happening.
Well, for Hyman, I think the whole chemistry angle, excuse me.
Let you catch your breath here.
I think it's overrated. Because when you go best on best, you need the best players with the best players on each line. And there has not been a planet where Hyman has been playing better than Reinhart.
How does Chris Kunitz make it to play with Crosby in the Olympics? How does Hyman not make it with McDavid?
Because Hyman's just had such a horrible start to the year.
Yeah. Again, this is, I'm trying to think ahead into February.
Yeah.
I just think, again, Connor McDavid, I think that's kind of like I could be very surprised to at least not see them start off with that. Now, again, I wouldn't be surprised if by the end of that tournament, however far they go, he's not in the lineup.
Yeah.
So that could be
correct, Nick. Good point.
Yeah, but
I love the other extra. I wanted to do this. I wanted to bump him off the first line. I had him in the second line. I think this is the guy that could lose his spot in the lineup.
I like the idea of Reinhart higher up in the lineup. I actually had considered that with McKinnon and Crosby, but I thought
how's the coaching staff going to look at that?
That's the thing. It's like, okay, so you're measuring what are you going to do? What is John Cooper looking at? You never really know.
The reason I have that first line is McDavid could cheat for offense right there if he has two Selke guys who is on his wings.
Yeah, so that would be really fun.
He could try and do McDavid things with those two on his wings. They can
point on the wing. I almost did that, but I ended up just putting them.
I'm trying to get to the Mitch Marner point before we transition
to
the rest.
Marner, not really a big Mitch Marner guy, and especially
Cody, they're projecting him to play first line next to McDavid.
That's a Selke guy, right, Cody? That's a Selke guy, right?
Yeah, So
he's not going to be penalty killing, playing PP1 for Canada. Toronto's not.
He's going to be the first guy in on the forecheck, Kirby. You know
that. Mitch Marner, we need you to play a fourth line on Team Cody's lineup. You need to get in F1. You need to get in there. Get Paul Maurice on the bench here.
There we go. Now we're talking.
I just think when it comes down to it, I don't think he's going to be very big in like certain games or whatever.
I agree, Cody. I couldn't do it.
I just think when you need big time plays, you bring in big time players. And
Kirby, what do you think of the odds that the line mates that me and you have McDavid starting with are not?
I think if Mitch Marner's dad finds out that Cody's lineup has him on the extra, he's going to go complain to the coaching staff.
He could go complain to his wife for all I care. But first pair of McCarthy's, that's automatic. I have Theodore Bouchard.
Same as Nick.
But I left off Morrissey. I have Pietrangelo Dobson.
Cody, I did have him as an extra there for a little
I don't like the size factor.
Yeah. Do you forget Dobson's a pretty big guy?
Yeah, but Morrissey's a smaller guy.
Yeah.
And I think you don't even have Morrissey in your top 9.
No, I don't.
Wow.
It's just
they've got off to a hot start, Cody, and they're going to say Scheifele, but as you give Scheifele credit, they're going to say, "Oh, Morrissey, oh hell of a."
It's just the size factor.
I don't rule out that defense.
But skating now is such a big important part, Cody, than it was 10 years ago. Best on best. That's why I wonder if they're going away from the Doughties, Pietrangelos, and those are great players at the time. Let's not be mistaken. But I think they're gonna look at more skating ability. I could be wrong.
And then my extras, I have Uyghur, I have Doughty, and I have Morgan Riley.
Morgan Riley. Okay.
Like I said, a little bit of a Morgan
guys,
Riley.
I might be sleeping on Uyghur a bit, especially over the last year and a half to 2 years.
I think you are. But and then goalies, Bennington's your one unless he falls off a cliff or gets hurt. Same with Aiden Hill's your backup and Stuart Skinner's your extra.
We're going to talk more about these goalies as the season goes along here.
Yeah, but that's my Canadian lineup.
Okay.
But
going to Team USA, America.
All right.
You want to start first or no?
We'll roll with you first.
Okay, with me first. Okay, let me pull my lineup here in front of me.
You're doing something that I wouldn't do.
I didn't.
Who's going to skate on that line? Who's going to skate?
I didn't have a problem with Team USA lineup until I talked to Nick just before airtime here tonight, and I kind of left a guy out, and I had to put him on my bubble there. So I've got my first line of Brady Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk, and center by Austin Matthews. We'll go through that as we go along here. I've got Jason Robertson, Jack Hughes, and Keller. That second line, it was kind of set in stone the last 6 to 8 months here, but some of those guys haven't got off to good starts. Probably Keller's the only guy that's got off to a really good start on that line. But that line causes a lot of speed and size problems. I think that's a good line for America to roll with against like a Sweden or Finland that might be a little hamstrung for offense, and that's when USA is coming in their waves, which you're going to see with this lineup here. JT Miller, big on him as this season's gone along. As the offseason, I was able to evaluate his game. What he did in the playoffs, he proved to me he's a big game player. He was a malcontent in Vancouver for a while there. He was a big turnaround to that Vancouver Canucks team there. Jack Eichel, third line, just like Crosby on the third line for Canada. I think Eichel needs to counter that on the third line for America. And Tage Thompson, a guy that originally was like really sleeping on. He had a struggle to last season. He's been playing very well to start this year. One of the few Buffalo guys that's having a real hot start to the year. And Kyle Connor, one of the best American forwards in the first month of October here. Trocheck, what he's done in the playoffs for the Rangers and playing in a winning program, I think is going to be key. Don't sleep on that. And Jay Gensel on that wing. You need some wingers that can play power play, that's going to bring it 5-on-5, that can skate. And then my bubble, I've got Brock Besser and Kreider. I originally talked to Cody about Besser being in my lineup, but then I found more names like Tage Thompson that I was sleeping on, and I had to bump Besser down. He's a big power play wizard, but this USA team, this is the most loaded they've been up front since 1996 World Cup. On a normal year, Besser easily cracks the USA lineup to play some PP one time. I don't know if he finds that with this roster. Anything on that on the forwards, guys? Because we'll talk about it with you guys as well.
Yeah, I agree with you on Besser. I was looking at him. I'm like, I wasn't even thinking about Tage Thompson, right? And there's another guy you left off, which I'll show you when we put my line
I limited
here. But
myself to only 2 bubble guys, so that's
I put a 13th forward, and then I just had a couple guys I was mentioning for that 13th forward spot. But Besser, I didn't have in mind. Kreider's the guy I mentioned to you. I'm just thinking a guy like that, him and Trocheck, and even Dylan Larkin around that.
I bumped Larkin out for Kreider on my bubble, I think it was.
Okay.
Yeah.
I personally would have kept, if I were you, I would have put Larkin in for Besser.
Because I think they're deep enough at center with Trocheck, Eichel, Jack Hughes, and Matthews. Like, those guys are making the team.
Yeah, but
right, yeah.
Like, the 3 of the 4 are.
But you can never have too many centers, right?
yeah.
So,
Yep.
like, again.
But US is loaded at wing. I think more than Canada.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, I like the forwards. I like the idea. There's some guys that I left off here.
Yeah, it's hard though, Cody. We're gonna have to move guys around on the USA forward front as the season goes on, right? But jump in later or when we go through your guys' live. Then on defense, I think we don't need to spend a lot of time here. 3 of these guys have already made the team. Quinn Hughes and McAvoy first pairing. You could switch McAvoy down to the second pairing if you want. Slavin and Fox. Slavin, I originally forgot when I was building my lineup. I'm like, from forgetting about him to moving him into my top 4. And then Hanifin, Faber. You've got kind of a guy that's like kind of a veteran ability in Hanifin and a youngster in Faber. He maybe is a 7, but I like to see him as a 6. And Rowensky on the bubble. He's had some injuries, and John Carlson, not the same that he was, say, 3-4 seasons ago. So I think he's lower down. And then my goaltenders, Hellebuck, Ottinger, Swayman. I think that's self-explanatory. Hellebuck coming off a Vezina year. He looks like one of the best goalies again this year. Ottinger having a hot start to the season. Some people had him 4th or 3rd coming into the year. He's bumped up to 2nd. Swayman, he's got to get going with Boston. The contract holdout. Maybe by February he's the backup, but he's got a lot of work to do in the meantime. And then Demko's been injured all year. I'm very high on Demko, but I think he's going to have a hard time making this roster. 4th goalies don't make it. So unfortunately, he might be out of this.
Yeah. Speaking of Boston, mass line shakeup today. Mass line shakeup.
Yeah, I saw that. I'm like, what the hell are they doing?
Look, I think there's some fire in Montgomery's pants.
Your defense, Kirby, you left off a noticeable guy. Young guy.
I think Nick, you have him?
I do.
Okay, I have him too.
Okay. Werenski and John Carlson. John Carlson, I would think, kind of like what Cody said with Pietrangelo for Canada, a bigger guy, veteran. I think John Carlson actually, if you watched him last year, if you watch him so far this year, he's really recovered well from that injury. He's actually
been use him as a PP2, but Quinn Hughes has.
The thing is just Carlson could be used in the pitch because he's the only right-handed D.
Yes, that's also.
I went left, right on both Canada.
Goalies, the most consensus thing among us. I would be shocked if we had anything other than the 3. Obviously, you could choose who's backup or who's not, but even at that point, I think.
Any problems going back to my forwards very quickly, 30 seconds? Any problems?
No, I mean, again, like you said, the forwards are so stacked.
Besides that first line,
I mean, there's a guy you left.
There's
a guy you left out on the forward front and the defense front that I have. So
that first line can play Paul Maurice hockey below the dots.
Well, yeah, but they don't need to play Paul Maurice hockey. They got to play John Cooper hockey, right? So
and here's the wait. John Cooper's Canada, dude.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Not John Cooper. What's it called?
Isn't that Sullivan?
Sullivan, thank you. If he
might be out of a job.
He might be out of a job.
Yeah, but here's the
time to focus on America.
Here's the thing: if that's our first line, we better hope they don't get put out with McKinnon and Point out there. Holy hell, we might be screwed. But
wasn't John Hines also
I have
considered
no
for that?
idea. I hope not.
All right, here's mine. There we go. I got Kachuk, Matthews, and Clayton Keller. I'm a big Clayton Keller fan. I don't think he's been put with the best players in Arizona / Utah.
That's high praise for Keller there, but
But I think he could make some things happen with Kachuk and Matthews up front. Also maybe evening it out a little bit. Hughes and Kyle Connor, been probably the best forward in the NHL
that's
this
bold,
year.
but I love it.
But and I think JT Miller, like you said, a heavy player, really play up like you showed in the playoffs last year. I think him going with Jack Hughes. I wasn't that high on Jack Hughes being at center, but I ended up doing it anyway because I'll explain it as
who
I go
else?
further.
Yeah, explain it after. I don't know.
I'll explain it after, but I was thinking of potentially putting Larkin in on the wing, or not Larkin in on the wing. I had Miller at
You
center.
guys are high on him. Second line center and best.
No, not on center. I had Miller on the third line center, and I had Eichel up at 2C.
I think they want Miller on the wing. I could be wrong.
But I mean, that was really it because I don't love Jack Hughes at center. I think he could be better suited as a winger, especially when you have this much talent.
I think come Olympic time in a year or whatever, you need to have him at center.
But he's at center there. Eichel, Robertson, Kachuk. Again,
Brady Kachuk.
Yes, thank you. Jason Robertson, he hasn't gone off to the best start, but I think by then him and Eichel, I've been watching a lot of Vegas this year. He's been unbelievable up on the top line for Vegas. Brady Kachuk's also been really good. So I thought about putting the Kachuk brothers together, but I decided to go against it, and I wanted to kind of even it out. And I really like the idea of Hughes, Connor, and Miller together. So that was, Kachuk just ended up being on line 3 there. My fourth line, this is one I actually really hope to see is Trocheck, Gensel, and Kirby, a guy you didn't have on your list, Matt Boldy.
Yeah.
Heavy player, physical guy. A lot of skill. I think can move up the lineup throughout this tournament if needed. And the extra guys I had, told you Dylan Larkin, you can never have too many centers, and Chris Kreider. Put him right in front of the net on the power play. Who knows what
Thank you for reminding me on Chris Kreider, because if they wanted a veteran proven guy play off.
I'm sorry, I'm saying his defense, and he forgot somebody huge. So
I think Kreider's guys is over Boldy, even if you don't like it because of pedigree and stuff.
Yeah. My gosh, I just realized that. I just realized that.
You forgot the Norris winner.
Hughes. Okay. I meant to put Hughes.
You guys both forgot the.
Okay.
Guys.
So
I forgot Marchand.
Okay. I meant to put. Okay. Yeah. I said. Okay.
We knew Marchand's going to be on the team because of
replace Hughes with Werenski with Hughes. That is my mistake. I wrote it down accidentally. I have Slavin, Fox, Hughes, McAvoy, Sanderson, Carlson, and then Brock Faber as the extra defenseman.
You and I like Sanderson. I don't know.
I meant to put Hughes for Werenski. So I don't know how I wrote that down.
So you got Werenski on the bubble with me, and you've got Faber out of the lineup and Carlson in the lineup.
Correct. Yes, for that right shot. And again,
that's a coin flip, but I just don't see, as much as I like Sanderson, I don't see him in the lineup. I do. He's been really good this year. And again, I'm a big fan of Faber, as you know, but yeah, take out Werenski, put in Hughes. That's my mistake. And we have Hellebuyck. And then you have Werenski as a 7 and Faber as the 8. So
no, I have Faber as the 7th. I have Faber higher than Werenski. Okay. Werenski was a bubble guy.
I like it. I like the boldness, but I don't think they're going with Sanderson and Faber in the top 7.
I thought about that, but I don't
think they're going to. So that's what you have. But I don't think
that's what I would do. Yeah. I just think, we'll see. And then Hellebuyck, Ottinger, Swayman. But yeah. So Slavin, Fox, Hughes, McAvoy, Sanderson, Carlson with Faber.
And you got Slavin on the first pairing. I thought the second pairing was a little high, but you got him on the first. So yeah, defensively, could happen.
All right. But here's mine. First line, I have Austin Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk and Jack Hughes. I have Jack Hughes on wing. I don't think he could be nasty enough in this tournament to play center.
Interesting.
And I think Tkachuk
the same thing.
And Tkachuk with Matthews and Hughes, Tkachuk can bring those two into the fight. And that's what I need from him. Second line, I have Eichel with Jason Robertson and Brady Tkachuk. Once again, I think You bring Eichel and Kachuk together to bring out that nastiness in Robertson. I think you have a little something there. And here's where I went a little different. I went JT Miller down the middle, and I put Gensel on his left wing and Clayton Keller on his right wing.
I'm surprised you have Gensel on there because on our post-game show and our second hour around the NHL, you kind of bag on him a bit. So I'm surprised you got him.
But when it comes down to it, he's a big-time player. Big-time player make big-time plays. So
what I said last year when Carolina went to him, what's coming at him?
Yeah, but here's the thing. That
was a great move by Carolina. It didn't work out, but great move by them. I'll stand on it.
And my extras, I have Kyle Connor, 13th forward, Dylan Larkin, a guy that you guys probably left off, Alex Tuck. I'm a huge Alex Tuck guy.
Yeah. You have Kyle Connor below.
Broke my rules.
Yeah.
And both. Oh, I don't know about that.
So your fourth line again is Boldy,
Trocheck, and Kreider. I think you need a bang with this fourth line.
Wow, Connor. Like, I've been cut by baseball teams before, and I'm like, I'm the second best guy in camp, and you're cutting me from this team in like high school. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Kyle Connor can say the same thing, but not being on.
But here's the thing. There's a theme here. All these guys can play tight within the net. When the space is no longer available, all these guys can make plays.
But Kyle Connor's better than guys that we don't have on our list, DeBrincat and Caulfield when it comes out. Caulfield's been great, but I don't think
why do you think I left them off?
Yeah. But I think Connor's on a different level than Caulfield.
Yeah. But if you put Connor in there, fine. But I want a bigger bottom six, a bigger fourth line.
What's your thought with Patrick Kane? Just like
veteran.
Okay, yeah.
Veteran, been there, and guess what? And guess what? Big time players make big time plays, and Patrick Kane's still a big time player.
He loves Patrick Kane. Little hard.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever. We'll move on.
Look, when it comes,
he's got to take him off because he's only allowed to have 2 extras. He's got 4 there.
Oh, I'll put in Kane, take out Larkin. But the first pair, I think this pairing right here could be honestly be the best pairing in this Four Nations Cup. Adam Fox, Quinn Hughes. You stack them. I don't care. Second pair, I have Jake Sanderson, Charlie McAvoy. Sanderson's having a hell of a start to the year.
You have the 2 defensemen that I.
Do you guys think a U.S. management team is going to take a young guy like that when this team is kind of young on the back end?
Probably not, but this is my team and I would do it. And
we're trying to find that blend of our team and
I want a shutdown pair. So give me Jacob Slavin and Brock Faber.
You're calling Faber a shutdown guy in his second year in the league. That's bold.
But when you put him with Jacob Slavin, I think that should be your shutdown pair.
We saw what Slavin looked like against the Florida Panthers. That's a lot for him to do there against like a Canada.
Yeah, but when you're trying to carry a 40-year-old Brent Burns, it ain't gonna help too much. And
you're gonna see these young guys making mistakes in their own end.
And then you have Zach Rowinski, John Carlson. I also have Noah Hannafin in there.
Hannafin, yeah. Same names.
I considered Hannafin. Was it Werenski? Yeah, I'm with you on obviously Sanderson and Faber.
Yeah.
Pairs exactly. I really like the idea. I didn't do it, but Slavin McAvoy. I'm kind of interested why Fox and Hughes and maybe not split them up a little bit more.
No, stack it.
Okay.
This is best on best. You need the best with the best. You stack this.
All right. I also agree with just going back to the forwards real quick. Forgot to say this. I consider Jack Hughes on the wing. I agree with you. I think JT Miller would be better suited for a center role, especially in this tournament. Yeah. I don't think Jack Hughes is mean enough to play, especially when you have as much depth as they do.
Yes. And another reason why I left off Kyle Connor, penalty kill. Another reason why I left him off. I'd rather have Kreider that can give me penalty kill minutes and power play minutes. I can get all purpose. Same thing with Boldy. I'm
going to be very surprised and wrong if Boldy, Sanderson, both make the team. I can see a guy like Faber maybe, but all 3 of those guys.
Who do you think's the most likely to make it?
Out of those young guys, it might be Faber over Boldy and Sanderson. I like Sanderson the most.
What would you rank it?
I don't know. Faber, probably Boldy. Sanderson. US is so deep at the D, and they already have 3 guys on the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
those spots are taken.
But one guy I'm really high on, Alex Tuck. I just like the way he plays hard, gives it every shift.
Cody, I like him, but I didn't have him anywhere near. That's how he is.
But I'm looking to fill roles here. I can't just stack like the best team if I have missing roles.
I think you guys are not taking into account as much as I am. They like to put pairs together. guys that have winning pedigree and experience. You put too many young guys on, guys that haven't played with other guys. This tournament's going to be very short. You're not going to have time to build chemistry. You have to have some connections. Kachuk brothers, Devontae's, Makar. You need those connections. That's how Verhaeghe might make the team, because Reinhardt's almost becoming a lock at this point. So you want to have those familiarity guys. If Verhaeghe was trying to make Canada and there was no Panther player on there, I don't think he would have a sniff or a chance. So
and then the goalies, the same.
Hellebuck, Andrew Swayman.
And I don't think that's obvious. I didn't even put I don't know when Demko's coming back, but even then
I just can't count on his health. And the thing is, with Andrew's start to the year, him being the Vezina frontrunner as of late October, he's the backup over Swayman, with Boston, kind of like stumbling and fumbling out the gate here. And
that's a nice way to put it, but
and Swayman kind of, missing training camp and kind of hurting him that a bit. That's how I feel about it.
So this is our first kind of episode that we're going to cover on the podcast. We'll probably revisit this again, guys, in the next month or two here, maybe another lineup or anything.
Watch half these guys get hurt.
Right, exactly. And we'll talk about it as we go along on our post-game spaces, like every week as well. So good lineup there, guys. Kind of put each other on the spot. Everyone in the YouTube comment section, comment how you think we did. Share your lineups, right, guys?
Yep. And just, if we left someone off that you guys think should be on there, let us know. But I'm excited for this, though. If you're Panther fans, majority of you are probably going to go for Finland anyway, because I think we're going to have 4 Panthers on there, maybe 5.
I want to know if our American fans will be watching Finland, Canada if it's a gold medal. They're going to just turn the TV off if the States aren't in. You guys get like that. Some Canadians do too, but Cody, when it's hockey, I watch. I don't care if Canada's fun or not. I'm watching.
Especially if it's best on best and this doesn't happen from time to time. And this is the first time it's happening in damn near 10 years. I'm watching it. I'm not missing this.
And we're going to do some pregame on that too as the tournament goes along. About 2-3 different nights we're going to do. The first week there to prep everyone. Before the Canada-US matchup, we'll probably do another, and then the gold medal game, most likely.
Yeah. But what my hot take right now is I don't think the championship run's going to be USA Canada. I think it's going to be like either USA/Canada or Finland. I think Finland makes it.
I think Finland could spoil someone.
I'm not high on Sweden, but
I think Finland's a better matchup against US than Canada, but I do like US's lineup better than Canada's on paper.
Hey, Finland's top line guy shut down Canada's top line guy before he'll do it again.
Austin Matthews, Barkov, give me that all day. Advantage Barkov.
Barkov's going to have a lot of advantages, but Nick's wearing a pretty nice jersey right there. Kirby's rocking the hat. Man, I wonder where we can get stuff like that.
Yeah, CanesWear. Panthers Fever is here. Are you geared up? CanesWear and Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. CanesWear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davies or Panthers Wear. Again, that's Panthers Wear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
And as always, let's go Cats.
This is the Cats and Rats podcast. And now, a special segment.
Hey, we're back here with a brand new segment here. We're going to do a little Q&A segment. We're bringing on a special host for this segment. He was with us at last episode. Ben Saunders, you came up with this idea for us. So, Ben, it's nice to have you here with us, and you're going to kind of steer the ship here.
Yeah, man. I just thought it'd be a good idea to get all the fans involved and the community and just get everyone's name out there and throw some questions at you guys and see what you've got to answer for them. So let's get right into it.
I know it's kind of Four Nations themed, so go ahead.
Yeah, so everything is going to be on the Four Nations for this one, I believe. So let's go for it.
Ben, if you're joining our YouTube side, I'm going to share it on screen here. I'll read out the question.
So our first question is from our good friend Lex, and she says, guys, who has the edge in goaltending in the Four Nations tournament?
Wow. We know it's not Canada, so
that's for sure. That is for sure.
But let's go through each starter. So America's going to be probably Hellebuck. Finland, it's Saros. Where you say Saros, and then Sweden's what? Markstrom or Olmark? Olmark?
I would say so. I'm going to be honest with you.
Markstrom?
I think Ottinger, the backup, is better than any of the starting goalies on the other team. And the
I can't put him ahead Saros though.
I'm going to push back. Saros, if he's on his game, can win the gold medal for Finland. It ain't coming from Barkov and Aho and Lundell. They need Saros to be the best goalie in the tournament. I think he's capable of it. Willie, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I think America is.
It's the USA.
It's USA for sure.
The USA has produced the second most the USA out of all the hockey countries in the NHL are probably the second best at goaltending. Russia, we all know, is the best, and it's not even close.
I think this would be an interesting question from Lex if Russia was in this tournament, but I think she wants to hear us say USA because Russia's not in this tournament. Right?
I mean, Russia has what? Sorokin, Vasilevsky, Bobrovsky, Shesterkin.
They're just stacked, aren't they?
Could you imagine the decisions they have to make? I think they roll Shesterkin, but
everyone's going to say the next Olympics in Italy, it's going to be Russia and USA because of the goaltending, but it never plays out that way. Russia folds under pressure a lot of times. USA, you don't know what version of them they're going to show up. So that would be the favorite on paper, but I don't think it's going to.
But out of these four nations, I think you got to go USA because they're about 3-4 goalies deep. Even if Demko does come back healthy,
and you'll even say the best starter, Wade Hellebuck's repeated this season from last are here.
Yeah, but if you need to win one game, I think USA is probably gonna go Hellebuck there.
That's all you need. One game.
Are we all in agreement to this Hellebuck? Because I hope he stays healthy. That's all I'm concerned about for other reasons that you all know
The
about.
fact that he faces 50 shots a night.
Yeah, Paul Maurice used to throw him in there, and he'd come out every game, duct tape on him. Don't matter. He's a pretty durable guy. Now that I said that, I don't want to curse anything, Ben.
You didn't tweet it, so it's not going to be jinxed.
Yeah, you're all right. You didn't tweet it, so you're good.
I'll tweet it out for Canada.
God, that was so annoying.
You should tweet out. You should tweet out. You predict Canada's going to win.
Yo, before next game, tweet out saying, "Yo, Erod's been playing bad." See what happens.
I'm starting to lean Finland as we go along here, but Canada, I'm confident.
Next question.
Yep, I would just wrap that up and just say I think it's unanimous that you're going to say all going to say Hellebuck. So, yep, the next one is okay. In your opinions, guys, this is from another good friend, Dilo. Everyone's in our community, so we're all good friends here.
Yeah.
In your opinions, who will be the captains for each team in this tournament?
Well, I think for Canada, that's a tough one. I think it'll end up being Crosby still.
McDavid gave him the seal of approval on that.
So I think Crosby's the captain for Canada.
Crosby for Canada, Matthews for USA. Or they could shock me and even go Matthew Tkachuk if they want.
I wouldn't be surprised if they did that.
Finland, I think it should be Barkov.
Yeah,
but I could see Heiskanen in that mix
we had another question. We had another question that was jumping in there saying that guys, I'll get to that question in a minute, but it ties in with this, and it says could Aho be the captain? And my opinion,
if he does, I'm gonna be very upset because that guy. It should be Barkov. Barkov's the best finished player in the NHL.
But there is a chance percentage that Aho is. I think for the U.S., Matthews just got the captaincy in Toronto, so they're going to lean there. But if they do want to switch it up, it could be Matthew. And for Sweden, it better damn well be Hedman and not a guy like Erik Karlsson, or I'll lose my shit.
It's not going to be Erik Karlsson. I think they'll probably give it to Pedersen before they give it to Karlsson.
I would hope, but we don't know all the management behind these international teams either, and what they value from.
I think USA's Billy G. Is it Guerin? I think it is.
Billy, yeah, Guerin. But what about the Sweden-Finland guys? Well, this guy played more in the World Championship, so we're gonna lean this weird stuff that Europeans value with the World Championships. They put that at the top pedestal with the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
man,
I'd be shocked if it wasn't Barkov.
At this point, with what he's done the last 2 years, but if he didn't do that the last 2 years, Cody, he wouldn't probably get it.
He wouldn't, but he's the best finished player in the world, right? He's the best finished player.
So if he didn't do those last couple of things, who would get it then, do you think?
Probably Heiskanen.
Okay.
That'd be my pick.
I'm trying to think of any guys on Finland roster that potentially.
Barkov, Aho, maybe
A young
Rantanen.
finisher.
Rantanen.
It's a young Finnish roster, Cody, right? Like there's not a lot of old guys in there.
Rantanen. You have.
There's no youth.
Is there any defensemen on there, like veteran defensemen?
Like
There's no-
Heiskanen, Lindell. Lindell's
And
first.
that's it though. I mean,
I don't know. You making Matthias
Lindell
Michelli
might be
captain?
the oldest guy on the Finnish roster up there. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, because Hall is young, not super old either. You got Lusto and Lundell in the mix. It's not a.
Now I'm blanking on a lot of Finnish players. Like Michelli might make it. He's pretty young.
Trying to think of their defense. Yeah.
Just quickly, just want to add in for context. It was Michael Wallace who said about Aho potentially being captain for the Finns.
I'll put it at
That in there.
20 to 30% chance.
I think I'd be shocked if it's not Barkov, and if it's not Barkov, then it's Heiskanen, in my opinion. Outside of those two, I really would be.
But again, how much international experience and games has Aho played? I'd have to look that up.
Yeah, but you can't really take that into account with the
Right.
last couple of years of the rules with like no Olympics. Like you're kind of thinking like back to like 08, 2012.
I was thinking a world championship, but the thing is, Carolina's been in the playoffs a lot of those years. I don't know how much time.
So like,
well, what if Aho went overseas one year and they got him a medal because they got knocked out in the second round and went over there? I don't know, Cody. That stuff plays into it for those management.
Yeah, but I don't think because here's the thing: all the guys who are playing in the world championship are not playing in this. Not the bigger guns. Barkov's never been in it because he's been in the playoffs the last couple of years. Same thing.
Maybe that's what I'm saying. Is there one of those years where they got knocked out early where he went over there and then they garnered a medal? They hold that weight to that because there's been no Olympics, no World Cups, any of that. So I don't know.
Yeah, no.
Don't be surprised if it happens, but low odds 20, 30%.
Aho's been at most a second round exit.
Yeah. But you can get out in the second round and still go play in the World Championships in the medal round.
But other Finnish defensemen, Henri Jokiharju, Yanni Hakanpää, Nico Mikkola, Olli Mata, Rasmus Ristolainen, Juuso Välimäki.
Mata might get a letter if he's on the team.
I wouldn't be surprised. Then you have maybe Mikael Granlund if you want to go a veteran route.
Maybe and what's his name? Mata in the mix for A's.
Maybe Teravainen as well. We'll see.
Yes, yeah, he's played a lot over there.
I mean, like
I think the other ones are pretty self-explanatory. So Barkov.
I think the only like true slam dunk is Hedman for Sweden.
Yeah, and I'm putting Crosby up there because of what McDavid said.
Yeah.
And what did you guys say for America?
Matthews.
Ali Matthews.
It could be Quinn Hughes, but I'd be surprised if it wasn't Matthews.
Hughes would be third behind maybe Matthew Tkachuk. Hughes is the captain too, which Matthew is not.
Yeah.
As in Tkachuk.
So, yep. Next one.
Okay. So, Chris Scott says, do you think Rhino will be on Canada? Or will they just go with the Oilers roster instead?
Well, if they want to lose, they'll go with the Oilers roster. But
there's no way.
Hey, Chris, it's good to have a lot of Canadians on your NHL roster because those teams usually win the cup or get to the cup. So just saying.
All right, Kirby. All right, whatever. No,
Vegas had the most Canadians.
We did just on this episode. Our Team Canada, Team USA rosters. All three of us have Reinhart. Think it's pretty much a slam dunk, especially if he keeps going at this pace that he's been going at. I think he's for sure to make.
He's a lock. He's a lock.
Yeah, I think he's a lock at this point.
He's starting to appear on top 6 lists.
Like
Johnson's.
And that's the thing. It's like, especially like you saw what he did last year. It's like, okay, he's definitely Team Canada. And then like the start he's gotten off to this year, it's like, oh, this isn't just like a 1-year thing, right? He's continuing it. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see him in the top 6. I don't have him starting there, but I could see him eventually moving.
I have him first line. I'm the only one that had it. I had him first line.
I was hesitant on that because I'm not sure what they want to do. Obviously you just mentioned the Oilers with like Hyman and stuff like that. So I don't know if they
and Point
and other things, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of versatility there, but I think Reinhart.
He should be a lock.
He
should be a lock, but I think he can end up in the top 6.
At most, there are probably going to be about 3 Oilers on the roster, I think.
Fans are going to get upset about this, but this is how international competition works, especially when it's in season, and that's how the Olympics has been for as long as I can remember, since 1998. it does matter what start you get off to and what the season is. Fans are going to get upset with Verhaeghe maybe not making the team if he doesn't have a torrid pace here, which he hasn't to start the year. And then someone like Reinhart that's been red hot, it matters. It does. And fans are going to be upset, but this is how they've done it.
And Zach Hyman.
I'm not going to be upset.
Zach Hyman gotten off to a poor
that's good or
start. So
bad.
who knows, right? I mean, obviously having McDavid there, I'm sure it's not going to hurt, right? But
if Hyman only has, they said this 2, 3, 4 goals come beginning of December when they have to pick these rosters, then who knows?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's very fluid. So
Hyman's got to get on the roster, guys, with McDavid out until the deadline when they have to pick the team. Now there's injury replacements and all that, but maybe he doesn't make the initial roster if he continues to play this poorly, as Chris asked about the Oilers roster, and then maybe later he gets added on for an injury. I can see that. They have to let these guys know who the alternates are at the beginning of December, so they're not booking.
Did any of us have Nugent Hopkins on our extras?
No,
I didn't. Okay.
He's not been off to a good start either.
The thing is with Hyman is just, I could see him already kind of being a lock in their heads. And like the start of the season really not mattering. They could just sit there and be like, oh, he'll pick it up. Yeah. Like, I could see that.
See, that's what my thought was. Like, I'm not necessarily what I would do, but what I think they're going to do.
Like, I think they have their teams pretty much like decided. It's just certain guys that I think they're looking at. But
like bringing it back to Reinhart, I think like he's got to be a lock after what he's done.
Oh no, he's a lock. No, lock.
Absolutely
a lock.
Yeah.
And I will even go as far as saying I think he'll be one of the bigger point producers on that team as well, just as a bit of a hot take.
Yeah, because Reinhart will be probably one of the most best all-around players on that Canadian roster if they do pick him.
That is a little bit of a hot take by Ben. I don't want to rain on the Panthers fans' parade, but he maybe isn't going to see PP1 if points on there. And then you've got McKinnon.
So much talent on there.
So much talent.
I'm not.
They might.
He's got to be power play too, though.
Crosby and Point, which for point totals, I'm not quite there because I don't know if they're going to use him the same way that the Panthers do on the power play, or if he's even on the first unit.
If you notice that, Kirby, that's one of the reasons why I kind of worded it one of, just to try and throw that little caveat out there.
Yeah, I mean, I always want to prepare Panther fans ahead of time, Ben, because they get upset. I'm like, listen to the podcast. I told you this a month ago. I'd like to see him do. I'd like to see him do well, but I think he will just surprise everyone and do better than some of the other guys on there. You know.
Yeah.
But that's the chance where they get to play Crosby with McKinnon and McDavid, and then now that's already 3-4s. McCarr's QB in your power play. Now you got one spot left. Is he going to play Reinhart over Point?
No.
When you start throwing those names out there, it's just crazy how stacked like some of these teams are going to look come the tournament.
Yeah. So I don't want fans to get upset. Just enjoy for what it is. Reinhart's not going to get upset. So why would you get upset as a fan?
But he should be on the roster. Verhaeghe's the bubble one. But especially with John Cooper being the coach, I see there's no way that there isn't a way for him to be on the roster because Cooper sees him the most. Like up and close and personal. I think that bodes well for the Canadian Florida players, considering the coach is a part of one of your biggest rivals. So that could also play a factor in it. But Reinhart should be in at the most. They're probably going to be 3. I think there are only going to be 3 goalies on the final Canadian roster: McDavid, Bouchard, and Hyman. That's it.
Yep, I'm with you there.
And those are 3 you can't really argue.
Any more, Ben? We have.
Yeah, we've got 2 more.
Okay.
So I'm going to save the spiciest one for last, but we have one off our Instagram side, or sorry, your Instagram side.
It's our, you're a part of the community. It's our Instagram site.
Thank you very much, man. So Fab says, what does everybody think of the new jerseys for the Four Nations?
Okay, I saw some of them. I saw Canada's.
Canada's.
I remember initially thinking Canada had the best. I think I was least impressed with America's. I only took a look at them when they, like a couple days ago, they posted them on Twitter or something.
We'll get our producer maybe to put it up here on the YouTube side. Sorry, we didn't get prepared for that.
Yeah, but no, let me see if I can pull it up. But has anybody else seen the Canada one? I remember people weren't like that thrilled with the United States one.
The United
Yeah,
States one, they could have went a little more flashy. If you go back and look at the 96 jerseys.
Here we go.
There we go. Thank you very much.
So
Yeah,
USA
Canada's got the nicest one by far. in
no,
my opinion. I think so.
I
And I
like
like Sweden's. I like
I like
Sweden's.
Finland's the best.
Me
I was
and
gonna say-
Cody like Finland. I wish
Finland.
maybe the logo was a little bigger
USA
on it.
went boring.
Oh, I don't.
I think
Oh, USA, yes.
I put USA maybe at the bottom.
so. Not being from any of these nations, I think I
Yep.
can speak nice and freely on this. My top one is Finland for sure. And then probably Sweden edges over Canada for me, and then USA. Unfortunately, guys, it is at the bottom. I think it's just a bit
Unfortunately,
too-
we agree with you. I mean, the jerseys.
Yeah,
boring.
but I just think it's a bit too boring. It's not. It doesn't pop because I'm sure they've had like better logos than that over the years.
Oh yeah.
So Canada, I don't know what the whole Hockey Canada embroilment right now. People want them to go back to that. That's the GOAT logo. So I don't know about there. But USA, they could have done more with like the font and, Cody says incorporating the flag kind of into the lettering.
I always prefer it when they do that.
Yeah, like the World Junior jerseys have always been good. Like when it kind of like when Spencer Knight was in the World Juniors, those jerseys were amazing.
Yeah, you were really high on those ones there. Cody,
Like
yeah.
I like the brighter shade of blue, not like the navy kind of type deal.
And I love Sweden's jerseys. Always, I have a Swedish jersey. I'll wear it if they make the gold medal.
It's the
But
same
I like-
jersey, but it's just so good.
I like the old Trey Kroners with the Nike design. So again, if they do well in the tournament or the gold medal game, I'll wear it on the pod. Everyone can see what it looks like. So I like their old version better, but this is their classic one that they went back to from years ago, and they've kind of stuck with that jersey. So Sweden doesn't really go far off the realm of ever changing their jersey. The other three nations, they'll mix it up a little bit here and there.
Yeah, but
The Sweden one to me looks like a very European. I know it is what it is, but it's a very European style of jersey. Like it reminds me of like when I watch like even when I've watched teams that come into Cardiff and play against us in like Champions Hockey League, and it reminds me of those style of jerseys. That's the European style of way of doing it. I just
That's their old classics, I think, Ben, that they went back to.
Yeah.
They wore those in the 60s, 70s, whenever, I
Yeah.
believe.
What-
So,
I don't know. For me, like if I had to rank them, Finland 1, Sweden 2, Canada 3, USA 4. But the thing is with the Finnish ones, I'm impartial to white hockey jerseys. I think they're the best ones. Like my favorite
bring
jersey,
back white hockey jerseys at home.
absolutely not. That's where I
No.
disagree. But
That's where I don't get it. If you love
like,
it.
no, you got to
You
look.
want to see other teams bring their road jerseys, which used to be the dark jerseys, into your barn. So when Nick goes to games, Nick, you would get to see all these different jerseys from all the different teams if you're a season ticket holder. It makes total sense. Otherwise, every team that comes in, they just wear the white homes, and Cody likes that. But some of them are so blasé, you don't get to see anything when you're at the ring.
Look, no,
I think they should go back to whites at home.
Thank you.
Really?
I think, yeah,
I'm the
You're a
opposite.
season ticket holder. Speak on it.
Yeah, I mean, again, like as long as I've been watching hockey, it's always been they've been wearing red. But I wouldn't mind, like you said, seeing like other teams.
That's how I grew up. You get to see the black,
Right, like,
red
so-
jersey, the red jersey.
Yeah,
the black
exactly.
top,
You know, yeah. And again, I'm also
the
not like,
Rangers
like-
blue
But,
shirts.
but
You
the
get to see
white one is better.
Right.
Each team you just said the white jersey's better. I'd rather see that. The Blackhawks road jersey are my favorite jersey.
Carolina a couple years ago. You know, Carolina, they
Yeah,
like, I think it was 2017, 2018.
because their owner didn't like their roads.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, their owner did not
All
like
right.
their road jerseys,
Oh.
and they wore the home like
Maybe
the-
that's why they were so
You're
good.
saying all the white jerseys that are the road jerseys are the best jerseys?
Oh, I don't agree
not
with that.
not all of them, but certain
Like the
teams.
Flames, the Oilers?
Like I would like to see the
No,
Flames.
not
the Jersey
all,
Club
most.
jerseys.
Like all whites are
Wow.
better. All whites are
Tampa
better.
Bay has always had weak white jerseys.
But Tampa Bay's always had weak jerseys. Like that's the thing. Like they have not had that many good jerseys. Let's be real.
Well,
here.
I think you're losing names as you go along.
Like no, like Blackhawks, Rangers. Let's see. I like the Kraken white jerseys because
Wow,
pretty
no.
the blue pop's better.
The Rangers? Oh, we're getting into our jersey talk again that we had.
That's
The
a different.
Kings
Like
black
hell,
jerseys
the
are
Ducks white
different.
jerseys are better than their homes.
The
Uh-oh,
Ducks, the
uh-oh.
orange and the eggplant that you like. Are you kidding me?
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and then they look like a damn traffic cone out there. All right, next question.
Yeah.
I'm taking that to my grave.
Cody's bringing spaces in. It's fire.
These spaces. This was a podcast topic.
Okay, everyone in the chat, we wanted Four Nation lineups in the chat. We don't want jersey comments. Cody's rearing us towards that area. Yeah, just give us your Four Nation lineups, everyone listening. Don't want to get into jerseys and get it in the chat.
Let's not get back into the Ducks topic because that's going to go on all damn season.
Yeah. The last
okay,
one.
this is the last one, and it is from Mr. Diehard. And he says, basically, in the Four Nations tournament, who do you think is the favorite to win it?
Okay, I'm going to jump in right away. FanDuel released lines. Canada's the favorite.
It should be USA, though, on paper.
I'm just telling you, by Vegas odds.
On paper, USA, Kirby. Don't be biased. Come on.
Does that mean people are actually betting with their heads, though, and not their hearts? Because, like, they're looking at it on paper. USA has the better lineup. But
You said, I think you said yesterday we were talking, I think you said you feel like good about Finland. Like you have a good feeling about Finland.
I think because Finland can beat USA. It's a round robin format, right?
Right.
And
Finland can beat you guys.
Point against Canada, maybe?
Yeah,
Like-
right now the betting odds are Canada plus 135, USA plus 175, Sweden's in third with plus 490, and Finland is last at plus 700. I might bet Finland.
Buy stock on Finland. Buy stock on Finland if you're a bettor or
like
casual gambler.
here's the thing. We're all Panther fans here. I don't think any of us are looking forward to going against Barkov, though.
Oh, and I think people are really biased too as Panther fans because there's going to be 3 Panther players on the Finnish roster, maybe 4 with Mikkola.
I think I'm leaning 4.
I think Lusto's almost a lock at this point.
I think Mikkola could be a lock.
And Lundell's on the team.
No, Mikkola could damn near be a lock because of the Stanley Cup.
And the lack of depth that they have on defense compared to the other teams.
Yeah, like each team has their weaknesses. The USA has like the least amount of them. Like USA's biggest weakness is lack of international experience because we're a very young roster on the up and coming. On paper, we have no weaknesses on paper. We have good defense, we have good forwards, and we have good goalies. Canada's weakness is goalies. You can argue Sweden and Finland's weaknesses are defensemen.
But Cody and Nick, are you guys shocked to see Canada's a favorite? Because I'm not, because you guys have talked about the weekend.
No, but again, I'm just saying, you take a look. I mean, I just think the goaltending for America. I mean, again, obviously,
but it doesn't. But I'm saying that that's going to answer the question. It's not playing into the betting odds. Canada's still the favorite with the weakest goaltending that you can imagine.
But Canada's is the betting favorite because guess what? Canada's been prior to this whole no NHLers in the Olympics thing. Canada won. They were the last good country.
And I will add, there is probably Canadian money coming into the bets because we care the most as a nation about international. So there's that part of it. But also, I don't think people are still throwing stupid money out there if they already know. Canadians know the goaltending.
It's not a bad bet. Again,
But I bet on Finland more.
The best bet is Finland. Are you kidding?
I would
at plus 700. I'm taking that actually.
No. And Cody, I would say that if we have a bunch of Ben and Cody especially, you would know this. I wouldn't say that even if there's no Panthers on Finland, and I felt that way. I would say that.
But our GM has an apartment in Finland and loves drafting Finnish players. So I mean, I don't think we're going to be. I think we're going to have, and besides, we have 2 Finnish guys that are signed for more than 5 years at this point.
Yeah, so, it's confirmed that he's a big Anton Lundell fan at this point. So
I mean, he drafted him, signed him to that deal.
And Zito's part of the management team at Team USA, right? So do these managers?
He should be the GM.
So do they talk to each other? The Finnish, management talks to Zito. He's probably going to be
quite a bit. I'm pretty sure Zito should be the damn GM of Team USA. But then again, he should have about two Jim Gregory's at this point, and got snubbed on twice. to a Dallas team that
Yeah.
hasn't made it past the third damn round?
I'm guessing there's going to be no agreement on who do you think the favorite is to win this then, guys?
No, like me and
No.
Nick think it's USA.
I think it's USA.
It should be USA.
Best value bet is Finland.
It's Finland.
It's Finland by far.
Best value bet I'll put at the top of my list is Finland. And then the second thing I'll say, it's a 1-game round robin system. It's not going to hurt Canada as much in net. If they had to win a best of 3, best of 5, best of 7, I would heavily.
But here's the thing: I think Bennington.
But I think USA is going to fold.
But if Bennington's trying to fight the other goalie, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Like you guys hate Austin Matthews during the playoffs, but then you're going to bet on him to win a gold and win a tournament. Like, come on now.
We got no choice. He's our one center. What do you want us to do?
Tkachuk, you're going to see what Matthew Tkachuk looks like without Alexander Barkov. That's not a problem with Sidney Crosby.
He never plays with them. What do you mean?
But in Calgary, he was with Johnny Gaudreau, American, and Elias Lindholm, a Swede.
You just said what he's going to look like without Barkov. He never plays with Barkov. What the hell do you mean?
On his team.
Together.
Honestly, so you're like, well, get him off Austin Matthews' line. Play him with Austin Matthews. What have you? It doesn't matter if he's on his line or not on his line. It's like
just put the best players with the best lines. I don't care.
Roster? How do you build a roster, Cody? What position? I know you play certain
down
positions.
the middle.
Down the middle. Canada. McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, Bedard. Let's just throw them in there for fun.
Okay.
Wow.
Matthews, Eichel, Miller, and then I have who do I have for Trocheck?
You don't even have Jack Hughes at center. That's an indictment.
How is that an indictment?
Because he should be playing down the middle, but he's
you
not going to.
Braden Point at center. Is that an indictment?
Oh, and if Canada gets an injury, Braden Point, you can play center. Oh, Reinhardt, you want to take some
injury? Jack Hughes can play center.
Nick,
you don't even
this
have
argument's
him
going to go on for months.
Yeah, this is gonna. I'm just enjoying it right now.
Are you ready?
Making zero sense. Who's he gonna look at Barkov? He never plays with Barkov.
Get the Canadians. Get Jamie in here. Get Canadian Ryan in here. Get them on here.
Oh dear. And then it's just going to be a slating against you guys. So I'm going to.
And I'm not even the biggest Canadian homer that's out there, Ben. If you can believe this, but every American will always put America.
I can't.
They always will. They always will. I said Canada was going to lose to Henrik Lundqvist in Sweden, the one Olympics, which they did. That team in Torino was awful. The team that Canada had in '98 was awful. I tell you guys.
Oh, sweet. '98. I was -3.
Patrick Waugh. What has Patrick Waugh ever won internationally? Brodeur and Luongo won all this stuff internationally, not Patrick Waugh. So I'm very critical of my nation. I would like to see the same on the other side for Americans. But that's hard thing.
We had best on best.
You guys are going to see what best on best is all about.
Sweet. And then I can make my judgments then.
I've had people tell me for years, Kirby, last 2-3 years, this community, wait till America wins. We'll see if America's even in the gold medal game. You got to beat Finland.
You got to beat us.
I'm gonna sort of leave you with this, guys. I think on paper, I like the look of the American side. Unfortunately, I don't think you can write Canada off. They just have that way of doing stuff.
You can't write any of these nations off.
Can we with Sweden if they're playing Erik Karlsson 25 minutes?
Well, I mean, you might be playing Mitch Marner and Dougie Hamilton on the same ice at the same time. So who knows?
I don't know if I trust Markstrom and Erik Karlsson combination with Sweden.
Yeah, also. That's why they have Linus Ullmark as their starter.
And even him, I'm not.
Okay, then, gentlemen.
But he trusts Jordan Binnington. Okay.
Are we happy with the nice little argument at the end?
Ben, did you like that?
It was a blast, I thought.
I thought it was interesting. I mean, like I said, I hope everyone listening is happy that they got their questions read out, and keep sending them in, and we'll try and do some more, whether it's going to be me or the guys read them on their own or whatever. But yeah, I thought it'd be a fun way to get all the community involved and make these guys argue. So
might have a little jingle coming up with the segment 2 down the road. Never know.
This hasn't even, the fournations hasn't even started yet. The argument's going to continue when it actually does start.
Oh, this is going to go on for months.
Well, I appreciate your time, Ben. Where can everyone follow you again?
You can follow me on Twitter, X, whatever we're calling it, at Ben Saunders 38. And if you want to hop over onto Instagram, it is the same handle, Ben Saunders 38.
Thanks, Ben. Thanks, gentlemen.